What's up, guys? The iPhone 5S and the iPhone 5C are now available to purchase. And it's just really a rebranded iPhone 5 with just minor modifications. So I sat down with a couple of my friends and I said, what a disappointment. Let's talk about some of the features that iOS can't do that any Android or most Android phones can. So we started making a list. That list became from 10 to 30 things. We got to 100 and I said, we have to stop. I have to make a video. And this video is going to show 100 things the iPhone 5 or iOS 7 can't do that most Android phones can. Now, because of the length, or 100 things is a lot of things to talk about, I decided to narrow it down to 20 of my favorite, but I still created that list where I will leave that link down below and you can take a look at that full list. So without further ado, let's get started. So the number one thing on my list is app integration. Sure, this may not seem important to you, but app integration is very powerful in Android. As a matter of fact, anytime you download an app, it integrates easily with other applications. For example, if I wanted to send a text message to a friend of mine and I wanted to grab a picture for my Dropbox, no problem. Dropbox integrates with all of the other applications, including the system apps. Number two, you can't set default applications, and this is a bummer. For example, if I download Google Chrome and I want this to be my default app or my default browser, I can't do it. Apple is forcing me to use Safari even though I don't like it. Number three, NFC capabilities. Now this may not seem important to you, but it's actually a lot of times people will not buy a phone because it doesn't have NFC. NFC allows you to transfer data, it allows you to even make payments, and it's becoming very popular in the Android ecosystem. Number four, HD resolution. I don't understand why Apple does not get it. HD, it's everywhere. Your television is HD. Instead, they choose a funky, odd resolution that when you're looking at an HD movie, you get some strange letterboxing. Number five, widgets. Widgets is very important. Why? Because you're able to see, even on the lock screen, you can set widgets so that you don't have to unlock the phone, open up an application to check whatever it is or whatever that widget is for you. It could be weather, it could be stocks. It really doesn't matter. It's very important, yet Apple says it's not. Dual user at number 6. That's right, very important. I believe, especially having children, you definitely need to have a dual user account. You give your iPad, in this case you can't do it, your Android tablet to your daughter, son, or anybody else, and you have a guest account or their own personal account so that they don't mess with your stuff. And coming in at number 7 is replaceable keyboards. Now you can argue with me all you want, but it's been proven that a keyboard like Swipe is a lot faster and more efficient. Matter of fact, I can type a lot quicker, but with iOS 7 or an iPhone, I just can't replace a keyboard. I need to either jailbreak it or do other things that it just doesn't work. And coming in at number 8, we have a USB host, or also known as USB OTG. I can buy a USB OTG cable for $3 and I can connect a USB hard drive, I can connect a USB dongle, I can connect other things like a DSLR camera, and I can use that to transfer media, I can use that to watch media, and it's just more effective, and you can't do that with the iPhone. And coming in at number 9, we have switchable launchers. Now you may be happy with the Android phone that you buy or even iOS 7, but if you're somebody like me that likes to theme my phone and really personalize it, I would choose to switch out the launcher, and that's something that you cannot do with iOS 7 or any iPhone. You basically get a whole bunch of grid of icons and everybody's iPhone looks the same. Coming in at number 10, we have Android. Now, what I mean by Android is that you can run it on multiple devices. For example, smartwatches, you can have Android on a stick and run it on your television. You can even run it on your smartwatch, consoles, and just about everywhere. That's something that you cannot do with iOS 7. It just runs on an iPhone and an iPad. Number 11, you have emulators. That's right. Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, PlayStation, all of these emulators run on Android easily, and you don't need root. And coming in at number 12, we have flashing custom ROMs. So if you don't like the look and feel of your phone, you can just flash a custom ROM. Now before you say, Armando, that's kind of unfair, you need root access to do that. And that's kind of saying, why aren't you pointing out the things you can do with jailbreak? But stop right there. You can buy a phone and flash custom ROMs without needing root. And that is the Oppo. Any Oppo device or the Find 5 R819, you are able to flash custom ROMs and use different ROMs without needing root access. Coming in at number 13, we have integrated FM radio. Sure, not all Android devices have an FM radio capability, but there are certain devices like the HTC One, the Oppo R819 that have radio capabilities. And this is a nice feature, especially those that have limited data plans, but you cannot do this with the iPhone. And coming in at number 14, you have the ability to change icon packs system-wide. See, with iOS 7 and their new flamboyant look, you either love it or you hate it. But with Android, it doesn't matter because there are thousands of icon packs available and you can theme it like a boss. Coming in at number 15 is Face Unlock. That's right, iOS 7 still can't do that. Sure, it has that new fingerprint scanner, but that's something that we've seen on other previous Android devices, and it really doesn't work that great, and that's why you haven't seen them yet. But if you want to give your fingerprints to the NSA, buy an iPhone 5S. Coming in at number 16, the ability to hide applications. No root required. Apple, believe it or not, still installs bloatware. That's right, I called it bloatware because it's applications that some people do not use, but they do not let you uninstall it or even hide it. Sure, you can create a folder and toss it in there, but it's still lingering in there and bothering you. Now with Android, no problem. You can hide it. It doesn't exist. Maybe you're not able to uninstall it, but it's still not there. You can, though, uninstall it if you have your phone rooted, but the same could be said about iOS if you jailbreak it, and that wouldn't be a fair comparison in what we're trying to do here. Coming in at number 17, we have voice control. If you've seen my videos on my channel, you'll notice that I am able to do many things with voice control. For example, I can control my home, I can turn on lights, turn on television. There's tons of things that you can do with voice. I can open up applications on other devices, reboot. I'll leave those links down below so you can see all of the things that you can do with voice. With iOS 7, you're basically stuck with whatever Siri has to offer. Coming in at number 18, we have Google Wallet. Probably one of my best features. I love going to a store, buying things with my phone, with the guy next to me trying to do the same thing with his iPhone and asking me what application that is. That is awesome. That is something that, you know what, iPhones can't do. Coming in at number 19, we have no grace period. And what I mean by that is when you buy an application, you're pretty much stuck if you're using an iPhone or iPad. Now I know what you can say. You can tell me, you can contact support, but can you imagine every time you buy an app and you don't like it, you have to contact the Apple support team to get a refund? Sounds like a mess. With Android, you have a 15-minute window period to try out the application and see if it's really what it was described to be. And I'll tell you what, right now I've refunded several apps and I've probably saved several hundreds of dollars just on applications that I didn't think that were worth buying, but they sounded great on the description and I saw the reviews, but it just wasn't for me. So really cool that Android can do that, and sorry iPhone users that you have to spend money on unnecessary apps that you don't like. Coming in at number 20, we have Always Listening, a very strong feature for the Moto X, but can be implemented using Tasker. So you can have your phone sitting there, always listening to you without having to turn it on. Something that you cannot do with the iPhone or iPad. And hold on, there's one more thing. And last but not least, iPhone users can't eat Kit Kat bars anymore without feeling the same. Let's face it, come on, Kit Kat is now a Google thing. And if you're an iPhone user, you're not gonna feel pretty comfortable eating that Kit Kat bar. You know it, deep down inside, you can say what you want, but that is an Android thing, and it just shows you how sweet Android really is. So these are my top 20 things from that 100 list. If you wanna see the complete list, head down that link below. It will be the first link and it'll send you to the blog, The Droid Effect, where I show you the full 100. If you like this video, make sure you reshare it with all your friends and family. Until next time, adios.